So, we are here in the yard. We've just woken up.
My favorite.
And I'm going to show you my first 4 days in the yard. The things I discover, the things I build, and the things I kill. So, the first thing you want to do is leave the cave, and you'll probably find a baseball. That's probably the first landmark you'll come across. So I'm just going to change my camera to third person. It's not as immersive, but I just find it better, especially during fights and things. So I like to keep it third person. So this is the first field station you come across. Can't do much with that yet. Got a document on the floor, won't read it. And we've got some granola bars. These granola bars are actually very good for healing, so don't just take them as food like I did the first time I played.
Definitely not normal.
Just up the road a little bit, we've got the mysterious machine.
What's the worst thing that could happen?
Turning that button on will activate the lasers, but as you can see, one of them is blocked by a blade of grass. And unfortunately, you can't karate chop it with your hand. We'll need to make an axe for that. So let's get some pebbles and plant fiber. Analyze those. Should give us the recipe for crude rope. And the recipe for the pebblet axe and the pebblet spear. So now we've got those recipes, we just need to gather a few more things. Couple of sprigs, some plant fiber, and I think we should be ready to make our axe. There we go. So now we can go and chop down that blade of grass, and the laser should be working properly. So before we go to the other laser, I'll just quickly make a pebblet spear because I think we're going to need it. Here we go. Throw away my axe for no reason at all. So when we get to the third laser, you can see that it's covered in mites, so we'll need to clear those out in order to get the laser working properly. But it's too dark to see anything in there, so we'll need to craft a torch. And to do that, we will need to analyze some dry grass. And I think we'll also need some sap for the torch. Okay, so back to the field station. Let's analyze those. So the dry grass gives us a recipe for the torch, amongst other things. And I think I'll analyze the sap as well, which should give us the recipe for the workbench. So now we've got the recipe for the torch. Let's just gather the things required to make it. Some plant fiber, some sprigs. It takes 3 plant fibers to make 1 crude rope, so you're going to be picking up a lot of plant fiber in the beginning. Okay, now we've crafted our torch. Let's head back to the laser. Equip the torch and the spear, and let's go in. So I did take a few hits in there. My health is below half, so I'm just getting some sap to make a fiber bandage to heal myself. I did want to use the bandage now, but it turns out it needs to be analyzed. Not sure why I need to analyze something I've made, but there you go. So back at the mysterious machine, if we press this button, it should give you this cutscene.
More dramatic than I expected.
So we just killed a gnat there, so we've got some gnat fuzz that we can analyze. We'll get that fiber bandage analysed so we can heal ourselves. Analyze the gnat fuzz, which gives us the recipe for the sprig bow, and analyze the mite fuzz, which gives us a recipe for arrows. So right now I'm just collecting some resources to build the workbench. I finally realized that I'm still burning my torch in broad daylight, so I've put that out. And there we've got our workbench. So from the workbench you can build a roasting spit to cook your food on. So let's get the resources for that. Some dry grass, sprigs, and some pebblets. There we go. And then we've got a bunch of weevil meat that we can cook. I'm not going to cook the gnat meat right now until I've analyzed it.
Will come around and eat me or something.
So now I'm just looking at some armor that I can build. We've got the full set of clover armor available to us, so let's get some clovers and hopefully we can build that today. Here we go, we've got the clover hood, the chest plate, and the leggings. So it's probably time to build the lean-to now so we can go to sleep. But there's one more thing I want to do before we go to sleep. Let's build a trail marker for our house so that we can always find it no matter where we are in the map. And that's the end of day 1. So it's day 2 and we are extremely thirsty, so let's get some water, some dewdrops from the grass blades, and I think we want to make a pebblet hammer, so let's get some things for that. Some pebblets, sprigs, and plant fiber for crude rope. And there we've got the pebblet hammer. So with that, let's head back to the laser. Let's get our torch on.
Just give me a second to let my eyes adjust to that.
And here we've got this wall that can be broken when you've got enough stamina. We are using pebblets quite a lot in the beginning, so it might be worthwhile to pick a few of these up. So behind the wall we've got some raw science, 500 raw science, and we've also got a scabby, which basically allows you to change the color of your HUD and the menu, which is quite a cool feature. So now we want to build a storage basket so that we're not carrying around everything all the time. So again, we'll need some crude rope and some clovers for that. And there we've got our storage basket. So now we're heading back to the oak tree to investigate the explosion caused by the mysterious machine. Don't forget to peep everything you see. so that you can get the creature cards and then find out their strengths and weaknesses. So in here is the oak lab. Burgle's having a moment on the floor, so let's help him up. And then he's going to talk to you for a very long time. So let's fast forward that. He's basically explaining that he's got memory loss, and there are a bunch of labs around the yard which contain super chips, which will help restore his memory. So that's basically the first mission in the game, to collect all the super chips to give to Burgle, so that you can restore his memory. So while we're here, we may as well get some more acorn bits and acorn shells. Let's analyze some crude rope to give us the recipe for the acorn shovel. And if you analyze the acorn shell, you'll get the recipe for the acorn armor, which is a little bit tougher than the clover one. And we'll make the sprig bow as well, why not? So now we've got the acorn shovel. Time to go back to the oak tree to try and get some grubs. And we'll need some more acorns as well to build the acorn armor. I do not have the armor, health or weapons necessary to fight this orb weaver right now, so that's why I'm just running away and hoping that if I get far enough, it'll get bored and just go away, which I think it has, thankfully. So while we're here, we'll need to get some grubs which live underground, so you'll need your shovel to dig them up. As you can see, killing it with a shovel isn't very effective. I should have used my spear probably, but it's far too dark and too scary here to continue, so I'm going home to sleep. So in the morning we'll get some food because we're hungry. And yes, the ants will eat your food if you leave it out. But he's cute, so I'll let him have that. Okay, so now we're making the acorn armor.
Putting on some more armor.
And equipping that. And now we're back in the daytime to get some more grubs from the oak tree. And the reason we need grubs is to make the canteen, which allows you to carry 2 droplets of water with you. So let's fill that up. You can get the droplets just by hitting the blade of grass that it's on. There is an upgrade later on in the game which allows you to carry 4 droplets of water in the canteen. But for now, 2 should be enough. So to make some arrows, we wanted to get some thistle needles. Don't forget to peep every animal you see. So we're here at the thistle now, and it's quite easy to climb up. The leaves are very well spaced out. You can go all the way to the top, picking up every single thistle. One more thing you might want to do is chop down a dandelion, so you can get a dandelion tuft, which basically acts as a parachute, so you won't take fall damage. And you can equip that as your accessory, so it doesn't take up space in your backpack. So now that we've picked all those thistle needles up, we can make some arrows to use with our sprig bow. There we go. Another weapon we might want to make now is the spiky sprig. So let's just collect some materials for that. Of course we'll need crude rope. And there we go, we've got the spiky sprig. Probably time to call that a day. That's the end of day 3. So as usual in the morning, we'll need water and something to eat. And then we'll need to fill up our canteen again. So today we are going to try and kill some red soldier ants. Of course we want to peep them first. And we want to lure one of them away from the ant hill. If you hit them around other ants, then all the ants will attack you. So it's best to try and isolate one on its own. Got a perfect block in there so I didn't take any damage. And like I just mentioned, the other ant that saw that decided to join in on the fight. So we'll need 2 red soldier ant mandibles to make the ant club, red ant club. So we'll need to kill at least 2 of these soldier ants. They're not that difficult at this stage, as long as you try to time your blocks perfectly. They should be easy. I'm just going to kill a 3rd one because it's always useful to have spare mandibles. Anytime you want to repair your ant club, you'll need mandibles to do that. It is quite difficult to get those perfect blocks, especially in the beginning. There we go. So now we've got those mandibles, we can analyze them. And there we've got the recipe for the red ant club, among other things. And we may as well analyze a few other things while we're here. So now we've got the recipe for the red ant club. Let's make the red ant club. There we go. This was a weapon I used almost all the time when I first started this game. So with this red ant club, let's try to kill a ladybird. They are not the easiest to kill at an early stage in the game. As you can see, they take a massive amount of health off. The only way to kill them effectively at this stage is to perfect block them, which I wasn't able to do. And as you'll see, I failed many times. But there was success in the end. Over time, with practice, you will learn to perfect block. And for some insects it is vital, especially at the early stage when you don't have very good armor. There we go, that's one perfect block. And she's stunned, so I can get some good hits in there. Didn't perfect block that one, but I've still got some health, so it's okay. Another attack, another perfect block, and she's dead. Now before I could even catch my breath, this old weaver junior decided to join in, and I thought, I'm not in a position to fight him either, so I tried to run away, but he was too fast for me, so I had to try and stand my ground and battle. But with some more perfect blocks, I was doing okay, and then I stunned him again. Stamina was a real problem in this fight. He's almost dead, but I don't have any stamina to hit him. And there we go. Finally. So that's the first spider I've killed so far, so I'll need to analyze the spider chunks as well. And my armor took quite a beating there, so I'll need to get that repaired as well. Analyzing the ladybird head has given us a recipe for the insect axe, which is a tier 2 axe. That will be very useful in the future. So now I'd like to kill some larvae so I can craft the larva blade. They do burrow underground, so you might have to dig them up. They also walk around the surface, but if you can't find any, you can dig them up. There is also this rotten larva blade that you can take if you want, but it's not as powerful as the normal larva blade. So I've stunned him as well. That's why I quite like this club, because it is good for stunning, which is quite useful, like I said, at an early stage when your armor isn't very good. One thing I think you should do as soon as possible is to buy the meat shield mutation, which increases your max health. And once you've bought it, make sure you equip it as well. It will really help you out in the fights. And with that, I think we're ready to call it a day. Thank you so much for watching, and join me in the next video where I'll be exploring the Hedge Lab.